Hi, I'm Mark Sadati, and I'm going to review beginning fly casting. And that's fly casting when you haven't done it before. And you know something? It's easy. It's easy to learn to fly cast. Start with the body. Usually I'm going to keep my body, or recommend that you keep your body, about 45 degrees to the angle of the cast, because that'll allow you some good hand movement, and also not only will you be able to cast short well, but as you advance and you start getting some distance, it'll be easy to integrate that into some distance casting. You'll be casting virtually the same way. So we'll start out with the outfit and with the rod hand. So I'm going to hold that rod with the thumbs on top, and I just grab the rod as though I'm shaking hands with someone, just about, and I don't want too hard a grip because you don't want to get tired too quickly, you don't want to cramp, and you don't want too loose a grips so that the rod's shaking around in your hand. You want something just comfortable and easy, because that's the way you want to cast. I'm going to be holding that line in the line hand, rod hand, the line hand, between my forefinger and my thumb. And my line is going to be straight when I start out going out from my rod tip. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm simply going to be moving my hand back and forth. I'm going to extend backwards and extend forwards a little bit for the loading of the rod. Loading of the rod is where you get it to bend. There are two stages in the cast: the loading stage, the bending stage, and the unloading stage. So you'll be moving that hand back and forward for the loading stage to bend the rod, and the line is the weight that bends the rod. You have to do it. And then I'm just going to have you stop the rod. Just stop it, and the tip will come over and stop for the unloading stage. So all you're going to be doing is getting the rod to bend, getting the rod to stop and unbend, going backwards and going forwards. If you do that that's called false casting. So you want to do that a few times to get used to it. And for the presentation cast, all you're going to be doing is stopping it at the end of your forward stroke, or a forward stroke, and you can simply follow the line down with your rod tip. So when you cast, it's going to be like this. Here. Accelerate, stop, pause, 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 accelerate, stop, pause. See, my hands are going to be about equidistant, the same distance between them for the entire cast. Accelerate, stop, pause, accelerate, stop, pause, just like that. And what I want to do is I want to get the optimal speed of acceleration, which you're going to have to learn, that loads the rod well enough so that it bends, so that when you stop it, the line will just jump behind you. And that's all you're doing, is you're accelerating, you're moving your hand in a straight line. You're moving it parallel to the ground or parallel to the water, both for your back cast and for your forward cast. You're going to stop and pause. Pause is important because it allows the line to straighten out, and then you'll come back forward, you'll stop it, pause, so that the line straightens. You don't have much line out at the start, about 10 feet of fly line, so you don't have to pause very long, probably a fraction of a second. As you advance, you're going to be pausing longer and longer depending on how much line you have outside the rod tip. So when you become an advanced caster and you're making a longer cast, you're simply going to wait progressively longer after your rod tip stops, going either way. So again, let's do that again. Here, that, accelerate, stop, pause, accelerate, stop, pause. Here, there, follow it down. And what other thing I recommend is that you use, like me, you use a little bit of arm, you use a little bit of elbow, maybe a little bit of shoulder, a little bit of body in your movement, so everything is natural, so it flows. If you're just using your arm, it's too stiff. It's going to be difficult getting a nice smooth cast, and that's what you want, a nice smooth cast. Also, two things I'm not doing. I'm not pivoting at my elbow, and I'm not pivoting at my wrist, right? I'm not using a wrist. I'm not recommend using a wrist at all. Keep the wrist straight. That's keep the wrist stiff. So let's make another cast. Accelerate, stop, pause, accelerate, stop, pause, accelerate, stop, pause. Also, I'm going to be keeping that rod pretty straight. I want the rod pretty high through the entire cast from the start right to the stop. And again, I'm not going to be doing this. I'm not going to be doing this at all. It's going to stay pretty high. If you do that, you'll get good control. So stop, pause, so stop, pause. Follow it down, and that's the cast. The basic fly cast. It's as easy as that.